All right, coming up on today's episode, we have our Liam's Facts, our top 5 musicals, our fight scene, and our joke of the week. So make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the episode, everybody. See you soon. Welcome to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with True Motion, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place and hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host Tony.
What's up, you guys?
All right, let's get this show on the road. So you had your performances this week, right?
Yeah, all 6 of them.
Yeah, so was it 2 a night?
2 a night, yep. Monday through Wednesday, all 6 performances over like 12,500, 13,000 people came to the shows, and they were packed.
Nice.
Every single night. And so it was flat out awesome. My voice is still kind of recovering from it.
It sounds a little raspy.
It's a little on the rough side.
That's all right.
The last concert, you just kind of like, screw it. Like, I don't have to protect my voice anymore, which is I understand. Yes, there are people going to be out there who, if you sing or do anything like that, any voice work, you'd be like, dude, don't do that. Like, I know, but
gotta protect it.
You just, at the very end, you're like, all right, let's just throw it all on the table. You're
in the off season now.
Yeah, like you're physically and mentally exhausted at that point, and it's funny because so there's 2 brothers that started the organizations. I've talked about this before. One of them came out and was saying like, we're tired, everything else. You're gonna try to sing, but you're physically tired, so the air isn't gonna move as much as it needs to. Which then, if the air doesn't move as much, then you're gonna drop pitch, and if you drop pitch, you're flat and everything else, and it just doesn't sound good. So just to kind of really be aware of that. But again, if you're constantly aware of that, you're almost pushing it all the time. And so, but there's one thing that he talked about that was really kind of awesome. Like I've been really thinking about it a lot, and it's all about perspective. And he's from Arizona. They started off the concert series in Arizona. So he and his brother travel to all of the different locations, all of the different locales throughout the Western U.S. So they did 8 shows in Arizona. And I always kind of thought that Arizona, like that's where Brandon is from. He's one of the brothers, ridiculously talented. And I'm just, it's like working out with people in the martial arts where you are so ridiculously talented, yet really easy to work with. Like you can teach things in such a way that it's just like, oh my gosh, like that is so cool.
It's like Brent and Danny.
Yes. Brent, Danny, Philip, Tyler. I mean, all of those guys, I'll throw Jack in there too.
Yeah, Jack Turner.
Jack Turner was he's one of the guys I do miss a lot.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there. But they do such a great job at being able to describe what you need to be doing and how to get there and how to, get to that point. Anyway, he was talking to us about he's in Arizona. They got their 8 concerts going. I thought they had more people go to their concerts than we did. It's just their concert hall's smaller.
Oh,
by a lot.
Yeah. And I don't even think Abravanel is very big.
It's not.
I was talking to my mom about it. The acoustics are world renowned.
Oh, dude, it's up.
Yeah,
I can't even tell you.
Because I was like, God, they need to update that theater because it's really hard for wheelchair access.
There's very limited wheelchair access.
There's a lot of things that they need to update, but it's like, God, I don't know if they can because will it screw up the acoustics?
It'll screw up the acoustics. Yeah. Well, and there's some mechanical things that need to be changed in Abravanel, no doubt. I can't tell you of a year that we have done it and the AC unit has not failed. And it's generally like in the springtime when things get a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
But because now, like here in Utah, things have been unseasonably warm. We had to have like all the doors at the bottom of the theater where the audience sits, all of those had to be open just to have enough airflow for everybody in there to cool it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, the concert hall in Arizona only seats a maximum of 15. I think it's 1,577 seats, and at Bravenel's over 2,700. And so we're able to, because we use if you've been in a Bravenel hall, so I'll just kind of tell you, so that you've got the main floor, and then you've got 3 tiers that are above that. We use 3 levels of the side tiers to bring in the other singers that are going to be singing with us. So, and we'll rotate. So we have like the grand chorus, which is all adults. In this concert series, we were there on the stage in the very beginning, 377 people. And then we got off to let the little kids from like ages 4 to the first one was like 4 to 14, I think, 4 to 12. And then that's hundreds of kids too. And then we had 12 to 18. They were on stage, and in the meantime, we put all those other people on the side tiers. So we lose all of those seats. Can't sell them because we're using them. We're able to sell about 2,000, a little over 2,000 tickets. Yeah, it's 2,000 tickets per show that are actual seats. Which
about like 12,000 people.
Yeah, well, and then we were able to open up because we don't really know until we get there. We get the stage set up and built and everything else, and then we opened up more seats because we were able to bring more in. Yeah, so for us, we sold more tickets to see us, but because a Bravenel was bigger, we could do it in less less number of concerts. And Brandon was there because he had his neighbors come out, and they know this is what he's done. He's been doing this for 19 years. Tomorrow's next year's our 20th year. And they're like, hey, Brandon, we'll put your Christmas lights up. We'll help you out and everything else. And he's like, I don't want you to put my Christmas lights up because in like 2 weeks I'm gonna have to take them all down and everything else. And his wife came to him and she says, well, what are we going to do with because again, you have neighbors. What are we going to do? Are we going to do a neighbor gift this year? Are we going to do this? And he's like, I've got these 8 shows. I've got these 6 shows. I've got 3 in, 3 in California. I've got 3 in Kansas City. Yeah. I've got 3 in, in Boise. I've got 4 in, in Texas. He's like, I don't think we're going to have time for that. Well, are we going to have time for a Christmas card? And he says, I started worrying about all of that. And then it came to him that he's like, why am I worrying about all of that? Because what I'm doing here is helping people feel the spirit of Christmas more than a Christmas card that I'm going to make and send to the, couple hundred people that I know, or the, little Christmas gifts and stuff like that I'm going to give to my neighbors and stuff like that. And I was like, that's a really good way to think about things. It's like, well, yeah, like that is a normal thing that a lot of people do, but what he's doing is so much greater and so much bigger than just those small little things.
Well, it goes back to like Shanna's always kind of been a big advocate of this. It's not about the gifts you give people, it's about the time you spend with those people.
Right.
So she never wants like quote unquote gifts.
Yeah.
She wants to go do things.
Yeah.
She wants experiences. And I really feel like that stemmed from losing her mom at such a young age. Because her mom really put an emphasis on experiences and building memories and doing things. And Shanna can still remember trips. She can't really remember stuff her mom bought her. She knows her mom did buy her stuff.
Right.
But she's not like, oh, this one gift at this Christmas. Oh my God. It was like, no, it was this one trip.
Yeah.
During this time. And that's really what kind of stuck with her. And she's really done a great job of like making sure we do that.
Right.
Because again, we used to, travel a lot for Christmas. We haven't the past couple of years just because it seems like we've gone on a trip like a month or 2 before Christmas. And it's like, well, okay, that was kind of our trip. Right. So, but yeah, she's very much a huge advocate of Don't buy me stuff. Like, buy me stuff to do.
Right.
Like, and we'll
Right.
do it together.
Right.
We always kind of make fun of her. Like, at least Maya and I and Jamin's starting to get in on it too. It's like, she's like, hey, I booked you a massage for your birthday, but you're going too. It's like, so whose massage is this, Shanna?
Right.
So Maya started doing that. Be like, hey, Mom, I bought a couples massage for us for your birthday. So,
Well, and it's true. It's true. Like you know, my dad, again, talking about people that, you know, you look up to. My dad is just an awesome guy. Had a really, really rough life, and I'm not gonna. It's hard to know how to raise a family when the only experience that you've had was with I'm trying to put this in the most.
Not a nice person.
Yeah, just a raging alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, and when we were little, like his biggest thing was because his mom was a raging alcoholic and used the money for alcohol and everything else and didn't have a lot of stuff, that he kind of thought like, well, if I have a good job and I make a lot of money, then I can get all my kids' stuff. You know, which, don't get me wrong, when I was little, I mean, that was great, you know. But it's kind of one of those things that, you know, he told me this once. He says, when I was little, I thought everybody's family was like this.
Yeah.
You know, because he didn't know any different.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know any different.
And so when I was little and like getting all these big gifts and everything else, like, you know, back in the day, my mom would spend, of course, this was like, you know, 20 years ago when I was 4.
Yeah. You were 4.
No, but my mom would spend like a couple $100 per kid.
Yeah.
You know, which nowadays is like probably close to $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of money. And it would just like, she would just go crazy. You know why? Because my dad was a driver for UPS. Now, just to kind of give you guys an idea.
UPS they made bank as drivers.
Dude.
Yeah.
So my dad was making, when I was little, my dad was making close to $80,000 a year.
Yeah, that's like,
you know,
200 or
dude,
150 nowadays.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge money. You know? And because he told me, he says, because this is, for those of you who don't know about taxes, is that once you make a certain amount of money, you stop paying into Social Security, Medicare, or is that not Medicare, Social Security, and because it's capped.
Yeah.
Like you pay up to a certain point and then you're done.
Yeah.
And he would max out on that, and the max out point would be at the end of October. And he says, so you would get an extra, you know, $200, you know, for like November and December off of your paychecks, just from not paying like Social Security. And there were so many drivers, he told me, that they would use that for like, that's Christmas money, you know?
And then just the amount of overtime and bonuses during Christmas time.
Well, and they had like, and I didn't realize this, but they had, they probably still have this today, where it's like, okay, you get this load in your truck, you know, if you get your load done in a shorter period of time, you get a bonus on that. And so he was like, oh, yeah. So, you know, and it incentivized you to hurry up and get your load out.
Yeah.
Because then once your load's out, you go back to you're done.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, I had a ton of stuff when I was a kid. You know? Yes, I had the Castle of Grayskull. For those of you who don't know, it was a legit toy set when I was a kid. You know, I had Transformers, I had, you know, He-Man, I had friggin' G.I. Joe. I had it all. Yeah. You know? But the things that I remember the most, like I remember because we lived in Twin Falls, Idaho. It doesn't snow much in Twin Falls because of the way the weather is right there. And there was one year it snowed, and we had a ton of snow. And my dad shoveled all the snow, and he then put us on a sled and then drug us across the yard over the little berms of snow that were there to like launch us in the sled, you know. And it was the best thing ever. Yeah. Like I remember that. I remember going. There's a place near Twin Falls called the South Hills that we would go, and you just hike up, and it's a giant sledding hill. You know, I remember that. I remember going to, you know, Disneyland for the first time. You know, I remember spending time with my dad, and I think a lot of that was just because I didn't spend a lot of time with him when he was a driver, because he was always out driving.
Yeah.
you know? And do I remember all of the Christmas gifts? No. Do I remember all of the, you know, trinkety stuff? No. You know. And so, yeah, there is that aspect of like, okay, you know, hey, gifts are fine, but build that experience.
Yeah.
You know, especially with family. I mean, you never know. You know, my dad, again, you know, lived a pretty straight life and everything else, and unfortunately now he's battling bone cancer, which is, you know, he's doesn't have it right now, but
Yeah.
it has destroyed him to the point where he can't do much.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, for people who have family members who have bone cancer, and it's just a waiting game at this point because it will come back. You know,
Well,
and
yeah,
we know.
you work so hard to retire,
Yeah,
and like then you want to quote unquote start living.
yeah,
You know, start living before you retire.
yeah, yeah, and it's hard to make that balance between spending everything you have right now
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, saving some, and then
Yeah.
like, well, how much do I save? You know, if I'm saving everything for retirement, yet when I get to retirement, I can't do
You can't
anything that I really
enjoy
want
it.
to. I
Yeah.
can't enjoy it. What's the
No,
point?
like you said, it's a real big balancing act because you can't sacrifice tomorrow for today, but you can't ignore tomorrow for today.
Correct. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's finding that balance because I mean, yeah, you know, for men, you want to work hard for I shouldn't say men, parents.
Yeah.
You want to work hard to provide for your family,
Yeah.
and hopefully they know that your absence with certain things is because you're trying to better their life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't be completely absent because then they won't have life.
Right. Right. And that's one thing that, you know, I've been able to kind of look at like the glass half full,
Mm-hmm.
especially since like, you know, I closed my studio. You know, and don't get me wrong, that was rough. You've been there. Yeah,
Mhm.
not that you've been there, but you were there with me. Let me put it that way.
Yes. I was around you
He-
when it was going
He
on.
was, you know, Mark is, yeah, for people who don't know Mark that well, Mark's good people. And it was stupid hard because
Yeah.
that was like my identity. That's who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly felt like I was helping other people out in their lives and everything else.
You were.
But what I don't think I realized is how much I did kind of sacrifice my family because of that. You know, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's stupid hard. You know, to kind of look back and be like, man, like, you know, it's like, okay, but I helped a lot of people. I know I did because, I mean, they still call me today,
Yeah.
which is great. All my old students, if any of my old students watch this, love you guys. But now that I don't run a studio, I can't tell you how appreciative I am that I'm able to go to my kids' events,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and spend time with them. And go to, because again, this is Christmas season for everybody. So all of their, you know, from choir concerts to orchestra, you know, my son's in orchestra, my
Mhm.
daughter's in choir and band. I went to her band concert last night, and I know you know, people have probably seen on YouTube and everything else, like the little shorts of like, you know, the little girl who's going to go out and she's going to do her dance or do whatever, and she's like looking around and
Yeah. Then
can't
they see the
see,
parents.
yeah, and they see parents or they see dad,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden they're like, oh, you know, last night, you know, like I went to her concert and I'm sitting there and she was the first piece that she did. She was playing the marimba, which is like a giant, you know, thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big thingy.
big thingy.
Yeah.
It's like a piano with mallets.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and you know, they're all kind of, you know, getting all to their positions and stuff for the band, and she's kind of like looking around, and she sees me, and like, dude, eyes got like this big smile across her face, and you
Mhm.
know, she's trying to send me hand signals like I love you. You know,
Yeah.
and man, I tell you what, like those moments are now they mean so much more to me.
Yeah,
Than,
and that's where it was like it's hard to find that balance of like sacrificing one evening at the dojo
yeah,
for your kids.
yeah,
you know, like I had Kyle teach class on Monday because it was Jamin's birthday, and I was all like, God, you know what? They were planning stuff, and I'm like, even though he's 22, it doesn't really matter. I was like, you know what? I got to find somebody to like cover the school so we can go spend the evening together.
Yeah.
We just went and grabbed burgers, and we went through Axis for an hour.
Oh, dude,
And
so
it's
much
like,
fun.
you know, but it's like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice that 4 hours in the evening to go to a birthday party.
Yeah.
And everybody here understands that. Nobody's like, oh my God. But that's just what you kind of have to do. And again, it's like one of those things where it's like, you are going to miss a couple of things.
Yeah.
And that's why when you do miss those things, when you are with them, you have to be 100% present. It's like, no, we're not going to be on our phones. No, we're not going to. No, it's like, we're going to be together, and you're going to get 100% of my attention.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that, like, you know, when Shannon and I first started seeing each other, I go, I don't have a whole lot of spare time, but you get all of my spare time.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, it's yours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's just finding that delicate balancing act with knowing what to sacrifice or what to invest in. I like to use the term invest instead of sacrifice. Sacrifice sounds so bad.
Yeah, well, it's almost like to say that you're sacrificing means like, well, I'm giving up one thing for another.
Yeah.
It's like, am I though?
No.
It's like, no, like I'm deciding, and I think that's a great point to look at it by way of investing. Like, I'm putting my time where it is most important.
Yeah. So I decided that Monday evening I was going to invest my time in that area.
Yes.
So, and you just got to take a look at things like that and really kind of do that during this holiday season.
Yeah.
Super important.
Well, and it's kind of interesting to think about it of like, well, do we, and this is one thing, like they say that you should keep the spirit of Christmas with you always, you know, and I think that we should kind of keep that same mentality with us always.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that it's like, you know, and this was one of my biggest downfalls in, I think running the studio is that I had a deep-seated fear that, that I had to be here all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, because if you're not here, it's not going to run. People are going to quit.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I won't.
The truth of the matter is like, yeah, will issues happen when you're not here? Yeah, but they'd probably happen if you were here.
Exactly.
So you can't operate on the basis of what's going to happen. It's just, it's going to happen.
Right.
Whether you're here or not. So, you know, you can either solve it here or you can solve it wherever you're at. Yeah. So, and let me rephrase. There are certain things you cannot solve, but those are like 0.001% of the time. Right. And that's just the thing you gotta, and that's with anything that you do. Yeah. In any career, any job, it's just like parenting. Like the helicopter parents that they hover around their kids to make sure they don't get hurt. Well, they're going to get hurt anyways. And if you protect them all the time, then they never understand the consequences of certain things. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, let them fall in the dirt. Let them get a scrape, you know, let them be kids.
Well, and it also, like, you know, I think it's the same thing that, you know, I learned a lot, you know, running my studio. Same thing with you, you know, that, you know, there's a lot of things that you get into this business and you're like, oh, shoot, well, what do I do here? Well, there's no one here to help you.
Yeah, you
so you got to figure it out. And, you know, there's a lot of great skill sets that you learn by doing that, by going through that, by, you know, by having that type of mentality of just like, no, I just got to figure it out, you know? And I think that's one thing that, again, with the helicopter parents and everything else, that because we want to try to, and I understand it from and I'm not going to say like it's a malevolent thing. I think it's one of those things that is you have a kind heart. You don't want people to suffer. Yeah. You don't want people to go through hard things.
You probably went through it. Well, just refer back to your dad's story.
Yeah.
He never had anything as a kid, so he's like, I'm going to buy everything for my kids.
I will get everything for my children.
So they don't have to go through what I went through.
Right.
And it comes from a good place.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to let them do things.
Yep.
So it's like, man, I remember how crappy it was when I didn't win a trophy and I cried and this and that. I don't want my kids to cry, so we give everybody trophies.
Right.
That's not good either, you know? So.
I mean, it's because you and I grew up with this in the time period that there was no participation trophy, no nothing. Like
they started coming out towards the tail end of like me doing like Pee-wee type stuff,
right?
And I was so confused.
Yeah,
I was all like, the only difference is their trophy's a little bigger, but I still got one.
Yeah.
What is this? I don't understand. I was very confused.
Yeah. The first time that I totally got, just destroyed was the first Pinewood Derby that I went to. Mm-hmm. And of course, my dad didn't grow up with like scouts or anything else, so he had no idea.
Yeah.
So he was just like, okay, cool. Like, what do you want your car to look like? And I was like, I want it to look like this. So he had a bandsaw and, cut the rough shape of it out and then just gave me the piece of wood and was like, hey, you sand it, you build it, you do whatever. Mm-hmm. So I did. I built the whole entire thing myself. I put it all together myself. I went to the competition because I was so proud of it because I had built the whole thing. I painted it myself, put it all together, everything else, and went to the Pinewood Derby and I lost every single match I went up against. And and I remember this, that it was just devastating.
Yeah.
Something that I worked so hard on just got like absolutely destroyed. Mm-hmm. And I came home and of course, I'm 8, I came home and just went up to my bedroom and just cried, and my dad was pissed off. He's like, wow, I don't understand why he's crying. Blah, blah, blah. My mom laid in. I didn't realize this until like afterwards, but my mom laid into him, and she's like, "You have no idea." And he's like, "Well, I don't understand why he's crying." Blah blah blah. And she says, my dad's name's Farron. And she's like, "Farron, you have no idea what your son just did." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Your son went and raced against every other man in that group, and he lost." And he kept it all together until he got home. And my dad's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Do you think those cars were built by those kids? They weren't. They were built by their dads." Mm-hmm. And he went and basically raced against every other man in that group and lost. And kept it together until he got home. And so from that point on, my dad realized kind of what it was. Yeah, the next year he didn't even let me. I think I touched it a little bit. I was like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do," and
gave the color scheme.
Yeah, like yeah. I was like, "This is what we're gonna do," and he's like, "Okay," and he actually went out and did research, everything else, because he was a truck driver for UPS. He had a lot of contacts and stuff like that. He ended up like delivering out to the airport to some guy who had several planes and stuff out there, and was talking to the guy. He's like, "Hey, what do you want to use?" And the guy's like, "Dude, you got to use this special type of graphite, to polish. You got to polish your axles. You got to do this, and you got to put this like aircraft graphite on there, and everything else is gonna make it slicker than anything else." So yeah, we might have cheated just a little. Hey, it was in the rules.
Graphite in a Pinewood Derby contest, whatever.
Graphite in a Pinewood.
You're just exercising NASCAR rules.
That's right.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Everything was up to spec.
Yeah.
It was the correct weight. It actually was a Pinewood Derby car. But we might have polished the axles. We might have like totally lined everything up so it was straight. And yeah, no, like the next year, like I destroyed everybody. Yeah. Like it wasn't even close. And of course, all the dads are coming up over like, "Oh, what you got going on here?" My dad's like, "I don't know.
Yeah, he did it.
Well, he built it." But it was one of those things that it was that again, talking about experiences. That was that experience that I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was awesome."
Yeah.
And yeah, it was something that yes, did I help out a little bit with the Pinewood Derby car? Yes. Did my dad also help me out with it as well? And it was a him and me thing.
Yeah.
And so when I went, of course, for that next year, it was us.
Yeah.
Not just me, it was us.
Mm-hmm.
And, we just went through and destroyed people.
Yeah.
But again, it was one of those things that I learned that, like, oh, yeah, you can lose.
Losing's not
And
the
you
worst
can-
thing in the world.
And
Does it suck?
Yeah.
It sucks real bad.
Yeah.
That's why you want to try not to lose.
Right.
But if you win all the time, the feeling of winning goes away.
Yes. Yes.
So
And there's nothing really there to push you to become better.
mm-hmm. That's why when people start labeling like GOATs like the greatest of all times,
Right.
it's the people that have basically accomplished everything and they're still motivated and driven.
Right.
And it's the people that elevate the people around them.
Yeah.
Like we had that discussion last week with LeBron and Jordan.
Jordan. Oh, yeah.
The biggest gripe I've got with LeBron, is he talented? Yes, he's extremely talented.
Yeah.
Could he like destroy
100%.
me in anything athletic like that? Yeah, of course. He's
100%. 100%.
He's a freak of an athlete in a good way. But he doesn't elevate the people around him. He goes to people that are already good.
Yes.
Versus Jordan, who made Scottie Pippen one of the top 50 all-time players.
Yeah. Dennis Rodman. I mean, good grief. The guy couldn't shoot to save his life.
But all he did was rebound and play defense, and that's what he needed.
That's all he needed.
Yep.
And again, I think you're right on that. That again, looking at that, I think that's one of the biggest differences between Jordan and a lot of like really talented athletes is that if you look at it, yes, was Jordan great? Yes. Is he arrogant as all get out? Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But
he pushed his players.
But he pushed everybody around him because he knew in basketball
he needed them.
I cannot do this on my own.
Can do a lot, but you can't do it all on your own.
I can't do it all on my own. So you had like, again, you had the, freak the Bulls at like their peak season. You had Tony Kukoc, you had Scottie Pippen, you had Dennis Rodman. I mean, you just go down the list and they all did things that allowed Jordan to be who he was. And he knew that.
Yeah.
And he knew like, if I don't have these people, like we as a team are done.
Yeah.
And, kind of like using that same type of mentality and kind of, going back to my dad, I think, he understood that after that first round and we just totally beefed it, He's like, okay, cool. We got to go in this as a team. And, knowing that back then my dad didn't have a lot of time, because he was constantly driving truck.
Yeah. That's something I've come to realize as I've gotten older and kids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just the amount of effort it takes to be present at certain things.
Right. Right.
So,
and it's funny because, just kind of looking back on life, it's like those little things. I mean, they mean a lot at the time, not necessarily the winning, not necessarily the losing, but it's like, well, did we do something together? Pre-fire and everything else when I had, my wood shop and all that, Landon and I would build stuff together. He loves doing that type of stuff. And I remember the first piece that I made was this like super cool, super nice end table, solid wood, the whole entire thing. And I had all these scraps that were left over. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, what could I build with all these little scraps and stuff that are here? It's like, yeah, we could do like a little like step stool because he was, small at the time, to help them get to the sink and stuff like that. And so, he and I, like I cut all the pieces together and he and I, built this little step stool. And when it was all finished and everything else, he signed the bottom of it and I signed the bottom of it and everything else. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we lost it in the fire, but but it's one of those things that when you start going back through the photos and stuff like that, he's like, I remember that. That was so cool. That was so awesome when we built that. And I was like, was the stool the important part? No.
No, it's the
experience that makes it. And, again, kind of going back to Brandon, it's like, okay, can I go out and do all these like, little gift things and everything else that, the certain culture society that you're, group of people that you're with, that's what they expect. It's like, okay, I could do that. Or, I could do something that's going to give a whole bunch of other experiences to a whole bunch of other people. That's going to be
That's a
great.
little bit more meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't lose that spirit just because
No.
Christmas is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Just be a good person year round. So,
Yeah.
but moving on to our Liam's Facts. All right. Last week's question was what 1997 was widely considered the best game ever? And the answer to that is GoldenEye. Yeah, we actually talked about that later on in the show. So if you're paying attention, we gave you the answer.
Yes.
So this week, the show mainly is kind of like music themed, so to speak, because you had your choir concert and all that stuff. This week's question is, what is the highest grossing musical of all time? Now, just to be fair, when I Googled this, I did not preface theater or theatrical. So like movie or just Broadway. So I didn't preface Broadway or movie.
Okay.
So that
kind of changed. If that's the case, I know the answer to that one.
Yeah, because it was not what I thought.
Yeah.
Not what I thought at all. So one more time, what is the highest grossing musical of all time? Again, did not specify whether it was Broadway plays or movie plays. So leave us your answer in the comments down below or email us at TrueTalkTuesday@gmail.com. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And moving on to a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. TRUMOTION in motion, let's go. Gear up, stand tall, feel the flow. Kicking it strong with the best of the best. Streetwear fresh, put your style to the test. Karate vibes, yeah, we bring that heat. From tees to hoodies, keep it sharp, keep it sleek. T-shirt or hoodie, we got both. Subs for the grind, focus on growth. Stickers and swag, let the world know you rep style. Now let's go. TRUMOTION merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Reppin' that swag, flex it, wear it proud. Support TRUTALKS and wear it loud. Discipline, power, the heart of the fight. Your fit's gotta match your unstoppable might. Tigers and dragons, bold on the sleeve. Step in the dojo, they know you don't leave. Oh, step up, don't wait. Rock that fit, let's elevate. TRUMOTION merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Rocking that drip, yeah, you own the crowd. Support TRUTALKS and wear it loud. Yeah, we reppin' strong, no fear, no doubt. TRUMOTION merch shop is what it's all about.
All right, thank you, sponsor. I just revealed the answer to Tony, and he was very surprised about that.
I'm shocked.
Question. Yeah,
I am
very,
shocked.
very,
It was
very shocked.
not.
Just a word. It's not what you're thinking. I guarantee it. But
Wasn't what I was thinking.
exactly. But moving on to our top 5. All right, this week's top 5 are musicals.
Yes.
So you talked about musicals a couple weeks ago, and
Right.
since you had your musical, what do you got for your top 5? And you can have some honorable mentions. I got
So
bunch of
yeah,
honorable
I've
mentions, too.
there's so many awesome musicals. Some of them are really fun to do.
Mhm.
Just because of the storyline,
Yeah.
you know. And of course I've got to put number 1 at Les Mis. Les Mis is
That's depressing.
it is, but it was so well done by way of musical. And the story behind it, like, I mean, just like Victor Hugo's book, you know, Les Miserables, like he wrote the book, and you know, all of the critics came out and were just like, this is the biggest piece of garbage ever. Like, this is the... But then it just sold out, you know, against what the critics were saying. He's like, okay. So the I just forgot his name, Stephen It's not Sondheim. It's Stephen. Whatever. The guy who wrote Les Mis. When he came out with it, they did their first show, and of course, the first show is where all the critics come and everything else. And this is in London, and the critics just tore it up one side and down the other. Like, this is the most awful piece of like blah blah blah, you know. And in an interview, he was like, "Yeah," he says, "I just sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time, all this money, poured my heart and soul into it, and it's just awful." And he says, "So I called the ticket house." I was like, all right, so where are we at? You know, how many tickets have we lost because people want their money back? And the gal at the phone said, "Are you joking?" She's like, "I'm surprised you got through." He's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "We're sold out." He's like, what? No, we can't be like, what do you mean we're sold out? And she's like, "Yeah, like there are no more tickets left." And went on to be probably one of the most, in my opinion, like one of the greatest musicals of all time. You know,
just don't trust critics. Go see
don't
it for yourself.
don't trust critics. Yeah. So yeah, Les Mis is my number one.
Okay, what else you got?
Then of course I've got two that are written by Sondheim that go back to back, and I am a big fan of Sondheim because in my opinion, his musicals, in order to perform them correctly, are extremely difficult musically.
Yeah,
it's stupid hard. Because what you sing and perform generally is backed up by the music and everything else that's there, so it's kind of easy to find your notes and everything else to sing that. And Sondheim stuff is like, okay, good, you're going to sing this part, but the orchestra is going to be playing this over here, and so it's like, well, can I find my notes in there? No, your notes are not going to be anywhere in there. It's like, oh, okay. And so like my number 2 would be Sweeney Todd.
Yeah,
I love Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd's a good one.
And then the other one that I have on there is Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Okay.
It's a great musical because the first act.
Didn't they redo that? And wasn't like Chris Pine and
Yes.
Anna Kendrick's in
Oh
it?
my gosh!
Okay.
And I love Anna Kendrick. She's just adorable.
Yeah.
She would be so much fun to do a musical with. Even though I have heard that she's kind of difficult to work with, but I don't know because I've never worked with her.
I don't think, from what I've heard, I don't think she's very difficult to work with.
No, I don't think
She
so either.
seems
But
pretty laid back.
yeah, but but like Emily Blunt is in it.
Yes,
Chris
that's
Pine
right.
is in
Yeah,
it. Chris Pine, Chris Pine chews the scenery on the part that he's in on that one. The movie that they did was very, very well done. But yeah, both of those are stupid fun. Like, they've got this kind of melancholy type storyline that especially in Into the Woods, where the first half is like all of the fairy tales and everything else that you hear, and you get to see all of like oh, this is how it goes, and you never know what happens after at the end. Like, okay, so Cinderella finds her prince and everything else, and all they live happily ever after, right? Nope. That's the second half of the musical where everything kind of falls apart. Those are my my top 3 right there. That if anybody came to me and said, "Hey, do you wanna?" I'd be like, "Yes, just shut up. I don't care what role you give me. Just put me in."
sure.
Yeah. And so, and there was actually a case like that when I was doing a whole bunch of plays and stuff, where a director of the musical of Into the Woods came to me and was like, "Hey, I just saw you in this show. I need you." And I'm like, "Okay, but what? Like, I'm still doing a show right now." She's like, "I don't care." I'm like, "Okay, when do you guys go on?" Like, she's like, "In 3 weeks." And I'm like, "I don't close this show for another week." And like, are you going to expect me to learn all my roles and stuff for like this next show in like 2 weeks? Am I blocking and everything else? And she's like, "Trust me, it's not that much of a part." And so I played the wolf in Into the Woods, which is awesome. It's the part that Johnny Depp played in the movie.
Oh.
And so if you kind of want to,
We'll have to watch
imagine
it
that.
sometime.
So she was like, "I just need somebody who can be very charismatic and very evil all at the same time." And that was the role that I was playing in this other show. And she's like, and you just nailed it on that, so I need you here. So, but yeah, that one was super fun. Another one that is like, it's not known. I shouldn't say it's not known. I just really enjoyed doing it. It was called Lucky Stiff.
Okay.
And the premise on that musical is this guy dies and he leaves his will, and his will is to take his body, his weekend at Bernie's a little bit, and go do all of these bucket list type things. And the body is just kind of there with this tape recorder like around his neck. And the nephew, who he's giving all of his like fortune and everything else to, is, has to play the tape of, my character saying like, hey, this is what I want you to take me to go do. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And during the process, he meets this kind of eccentric guy on this trip, and he kind of helps him along with it, Okay. And so, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, the guy that is with him doing all of this is actually the uncle. He's not dead yet. He just wants to see if like his nephew will follow through so that he can get. And it's fun, and it's like chaos ensues and everything else in that one.
All right, what do you got for your last one?
Okay, and then the last one, it's going to be a tie between these last two because they do mesh together really, really well. One of them is called Ragtime. Okay, and it's the music in that one is so good, and it's a lot of like like black culture and stuff like that that's in there, and the issue with how we treated the whole entire black, and I'm not even going to say like African American culture, I'm just going to call it black culture here in America. So good. And the other one that it punches me in the face every single time is Civil War, because it does really kind of focus in on that battle, not only between North and South, but family against family. Yeah. And a lot of the songs are just really, I tip my hat to the people who go and perform that, because some of them are like very emotional songs. Yeah. Like of these boys who went off and fought, and we're just like, I just want my dad to be proud of me. Yeah. Type thing. And so those ones hold special places in my heart. There again, whole bunch of really cool, great musicals that are out there. Yeah. But those are my top, you know.
Well, if you haven't heard of some of those, definitely check them out.
Check them out.
I've got some honorable mentions. Have you ever heard of Repo, a Genetic Opera?
No.
That's a good one. It's an interesting one. That's a really good one. Obviously, Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
/ The Wiz.
The Wiz.
Yeah, that's a really good one too.
Michael Jackson back in the. Yeah. Oh, Diana Ross. I mean, it's good times.
The Pirates of Penzance.
Oh, Pirates of Penzance. Oh, yeah, duh.
That's a good one.
That's classic.
That's a really good one. Hairspray.
Yes.
Yeah, Hairspray.
Yeah, Hairspray's great.
Yeah, I think Hairspray's fantastic.
Oh, it's stupid fun. Yep. Stupid fun.
All right, so now into the actual top 5. I've got West Side Story.
Sondheim again.
Yep. That's a really good one.
When you're a jet all the way.
Yep, exactly. Willy Wonka.
I haven't seen the musical Willy Wonka.
Well, the movie's basically a musical.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's a musical.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you
it's
that.
not an opera.
That's true.
But
it's
a musical.
It is a musical.
They have basically song and dance numbers every scene.
Now let's take a hot take on this. Johnny Depp,
he's great, but
or Gene Wilder.
It's Gene Wilder,
dude. No joke, right?
It's not even a hot take.
Not even close. Well, so here's the thing. I really don't like the old Willy Wonka. I love Gene Wilder when he's out there, and the songs he sings, and
the movie's a little weird.
I can't stand Charlie. Yeah, like. The songs, like, there's one song in there, and I'm not even going to say it because it just makes me angry. I hate it. But yeah, there's a lot of things like in the Gene Wilder one that I was like, dude, that's just friggin'. He just just chewed scenery on that one.
Yeah.
But again, there's other parts in the Johnny Depp one that I like more.
Yeah, there were parts, but it's the Gene Wilder.
Oh yeah.
Original one.
Yeah.
So, Phantom of the Opera. That's a really good one. Yeah, I like Phantom of the Opera. I like the Gerard Butler movie one too.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Oh, poor Gerard.
He did pretty good
for not singing at all. He
for
did
not being a singer.
Yeah,
I thought he did an awesome job. Yeah, because again, he's not musically trained.
No, he's not. Not at all.
And he takes on the most iconic musical role of all time.
Right.
And I don't want to say he nailed it.
He did a good job.
He did very, very well. It gives hope for average people everywhere.
Well, here's the crazy thing: the girl who played Christine ended up like going off and doing a whole bunch of stuff like after that. Like she did like the whole entire Shameless series.
Oh yeah,
you know,
she was great.
And she was freaking awesome. And so
7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
Oh, that's a good classic.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That obviously has got the weirdest premise of ever. Like, hey,
let's
kidnap all these girls and take her in the mountains and
we'll marry them.
And then we'll marry them after the snow melts. It's weird. But it's good. My grandma always made me watch it anytime we go out there. And then the last one is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Yep. That's a good one. If you haven't watched it, man, it's funny. You're welcome.
It is.
So
yeah, that one's funny.
Good old Jack Black.
Well, and again, like, okay, we're gonna throw I'll throw another honorable mention, which it should have been in my top 5, but The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
You know,
that's I mean, it's obviously a classic. I just honestly haven't watched it enough to be like, yeah, that's definitely one. But in terms of like iconic musicals, yeah, you really can't beat that. And honestly, you could damn near list any Disney movie.
Yeah,
like
you could.
Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah.
Peter Pan.
Yeah.
In any of those. So.
Yeah. Fun fact. So the part in The Sound of Music when they're up in the Alps and Julie Andrews is sitting there and she plays the guitar and everything else and she, sings to the kids and everything. I didn't know this until later, but there was like an interview where she's like, "Oh yeah, like I was having a really tough time playing because this is the great thing about older musicals is that when they did something, I don't know if they just didn't have the idea of like, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna like record the vocals for everything, and then we're gonna shoot the musical, and then we'll overlay the vocals on the actual musical itself, so that way we don't have to worry about sound and everything and all this other stuff. They would just shoot it." All at one take, and she was having a hard time playing the guitar, getting it right, and singing with the kids and everything else that were there. And so they broke for lunch up in the Alps. She went down to the village that was there, had lunch, and got kind of drunk. Just really drunk. And so they're like, "Okay, we're gonna shoot this again." She's like, "Oh, okay, I'm drunk." Yeah. No joke. She's like, we went back to go shoot that scene, nailed it first take.
There you go.
I was just drunk, and I was like, everything loosens up, and, away you go. Yeah. But yeah, but there's something that, and I was thinking about this while being on stage this week, when, just because of like the advent of AI and everything else, and everybody's like, "Yeah, it's gonna take our jobs," It's like, okay, it's like, but there's derms, it's like, and I sat there and I thought, and like, because one of the brothers wrote a new piece for this season, and it was his take on Silent Night, and as we were sitting there singing that, and the song's 12 minutes long that we do, and I was like, there's no way that AI could do what he's doing right now.
They could, but it probably wouldn't be as good.
Oh yeah, there's no way. Now granted, AI could probably help out a lot with like after you write the music and everything else. It's like, okay, well now we're gonna put this, and I'm gonna have AI put this into the music so that it's easy to read and stuff like that, so that people can, perform it and everything else. But there's still, I don't think that AI will ever get to the point of being as creative as the human mind will be.
I hope not.
Well, and the only reason why I say that is because the only reason why, AI can do what it does is that AI is just a really good search algorithm. It's really good at looking at, like, I'm going to take all this information and I'm going to parse it and I'm going to, put that information together to put this together. But you still have to have a human behind that saying, this is what I want. This is how I want it to sound. This is how I want it to feel like. And then they have to go through it in the same process that you would have to do in making any type of music, written, movie, whatever. So, yeah.
But let us know what your favorite musicals are. I know, obviously, there's tons of them that we'd even get to, like, Singing in the Rain, and like Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, all those.
Oh, dude.
All those good.
White Christmas.
Yeah, White Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But moving on to our Ask a Sensei. All right, this week's slang is we've got musical slang.
Oh, let's see.
So,
see how well I can do on this.
This one's a hip-hop term.
Oh, okay.
So, I've got, like, a bunch of different ones. So
okay.
Someone says bars.
Ah, bars.
Yeah.
We know bars. So bars basically are, it is a musical term, like, within the actual sheet music.
Well, that's like general stuff.
That's the general, yeah.
But if you're talking hip hop,
bars are like the actual lines and words and stuff that you're spitting out.
Yeah, it's witty and meaningful lyrics.
Yep.
All right, jazz terms. What are bones?
It's a percussion thing, isn't it?
It's a trombone.
Oh, got it.
So they just shorten it to say bones. Okay. Clan.
Clan.
I
don't know that one.
Missing a note.
What?
Yeah. Clan. Lick.
A lick is a certain section of the music that you rip off. Or not that you rip off, but you shred through it.
Yeah, it's a short, catchy musical phrase or solo.
Yep.
Yeah. Like a riff.
Yep, like a riff.
Yep. Shred.
Shred is what you do when you get the guitar and you, like, throw a whole bunch of, like, awesome notes out there.
That'd be for heavy metal.
That's for, like, or even, like, I would just say rock in general, because you've got, you want to talk about people who shred, like, you've got Slash, you've got Van Halen, you've got,
But it's to practice diligently.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, so now some actual general music terms. Earworm.
Oh, earworm. Earworm is probably generally a portion of the song or section of it that gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, just a song that's stuck in your head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If you ever watch The Big Bang, Sheldon gets an earworm. So, which you need to watch.
I do need to watch that.
Forte.
That means loud.
Yes, loud.
Yeah.
Crescendo.
Which is to go from a quieter volume to a louder volume.
Getting louder. Yep. Largo.
Which means to slow down.
Very slow.
Yep.
Allegro.
Allegro is happy. It was to make it light and no. Yeah. No, it's to smooth it out. My bad. Sorry.
Fast and cheerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, fast and cheerful. Staccato.
Which is very, very sharp. Yeah, not the firearm. Which is where they got the name of staccato.
Firearm.
Yeah. Because you hit it sharp. It's like,
yeah, short, detached note.
Yep,
staccato.
Yep.
Yeah, it was funny. I was looking through these. I was like, staccato.
I think I know what that is.
And obviously there was...
I do not have enough money to have one of those.
Yeah. They're like Pissimo and
pianissimo, which is really quiet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Mizzy? I can't remember. I was talking to my mom about these, and she's a music major.
Oh yeah. There's mezzo piano, which is halfway between like your fortissimo and piano. And of course, like on the sheet music, depending on how many Fs and how many Ps are on there, means how quiet you should be getting and how loud you should be getting.
Yep.
And it's for us, we with the MCO in the grand chorus, Brandon and Brett, both of them, even though there's like 370 of us, he still wants it to feel like what would be considered like a chamber choir, which is not as large as the grand chorus that we have, but they want to still have that sound.
Yeah.
Like if it gets quiet with like 370 people, it's like, they're like, well, it's kind of hard to get quiet. And they're like, no, you can get quiet. And they raise that bar to that point. Like, no, like you're not getting quiet enough.
Yeah.
It's the same thing on the flip side where, when you want it big, they want it like it's blowing, we use this term a lot, blow the roof off.
Yeah.
Where it just gets so loud that,
they're pinning their head back like
right.
Was it was it Maxwell?
Yes,
ad?
the old Maxwell ad where he's like in the chair.
Sitting in the chair. Yeah.
Yeah. And in a Bravenel, it's so I got the tickets for my parents to go see it, my sister. And I chose the seat specifically because I kind of knew where the focal point was going to be. And if you're ever at a Bravenel, the focal point of all of the music, like a lot of people are like, oh, I want to get close so I can see the orchestra and I can see everything else. And that's cool if you want to see something visually, but when it's there acoustically and auditorially, you don't necessarily want to be as close as possible because that's not the focal point of where all the sound goes to. And because I've been there several times, I'm like, you want to be at least half to 3/4 of the way back on the floor, almost near to where the soundboard's at, or front row of first balcony.
Okay.
Because that's where all of the sound gets focused into. When it gets all focused there, like you're getting everything. And that's where I chose my parents' seats because the balcony was taken. So I was like, all right, I'm going to stick them kind of like almost like 3/4 of the way back.
Yeah.
My parents were just like, yeah, like when you got tickets, I was like, oh, this is kind of far away, or you haven't normally sat here. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Just trust me.
It's all right.
And they
Trust the process.
They came out after this last concert. We're like, oh my gosh, like the sound was amazing. Like it's just like, and I'm like, yeah, I chose that spot specifically for you guys. So,
but let us know how you did with your musical terms. Did you know any, or were you just like, I don't know. But moving on to our next question. All right, question number 2. What do you got for us?
So my question number 2 is, since we are close to Christmas.
Yes.
So let's talk Christmas traditions.
Okay.
Tradition.
Yeah.
That
was another good musical. I didn't.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, Fiddler on the Roof.
Yep.
Oh man. I would have loved to have seen Fiddler on the Roof with the guy who played Doc Ock.
Oh yeah, did he play it?
He did.
Oh wow.
He was Tavia in Fiddler on the Roof. And,
okay.
And I saw like it was
Alfred Molina.
Yeah, Alfred. Yeah, in one of the outtakes, he's there strapped up with like the whole Doc Ock suit and everything else, and he's kind of hanging there, and he starts singing, "If I Were a Rich Man." Yeah. I was like, dude, that would be like. I would have died laughing like right there. I'm like, I'm done. I'm worthless for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It's friggin' hilarious. No, like what are Christmas traditions that you guys got?
As a kid, obviously we would always like get to open up one present, and my mom would have a little nativity scene, and she would hide the baby Jesus, and then me and my sister would try to find it.
Ooh, that's okay.
So then on Christmas Eve we would find it, and then we'd put it in the manger and all.
That's
that stuff.
way cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that was from when I was little. Nowadays, like I said, we usually like to travel.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't travel, we like draw names and we just buy each other that one person a gift. Can be lots of little gifts or one big gift, but we try to cap it like $100.
Yeah.
That's really about it. We don't because it's one of those things, kind of like what we've been talking about earlier, where we don't put so much emphasis on one day. It's like, no, we'll just try to do this throughout the entire year.
Right.
So it's like, hey, I saw this and I really thought of you. I thought you'd like it. Here you go.
Yeah.
Or, hey, like we do dinner, like we try to do dinner every Sunday night. So it's not like, hey, it's Christmas, let's do something like,
Right.
no, it's like, it's Christmas, so let's just do our normal stuff.
Yeah.
So we try to just keep it like that. So it's not like, oh God, well, this year just wasn't as good as last year. And it's like, no, it's just we try to maintain that, like, hey, I'm going to do something nice for you because I want to year round.
Right.
Or, hey, let's get together because it's today, and not like, hey, let's get together. But you know what? We're going to see each other next week. So we'll just push it off till next week. No, we'll just see each other now. So, I mean, that's how we try to do it. But the major finding, baby Jesus from, like
the baby Jesus.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus from Talladega Nights. Sorry.
8-pound gold-plated diaper baby Jesus.
Yeah. We'd always try to find the baby Jesus on Christmas Eve, and that was always fun. So it was a competition between me and my sister, or at least I made it one. So I was trying to find it before she did. So, but yeah, that's about it. What about you guys?
So for Christmas Eve, and this started with my family and I think my parents again are very wise because, Christmas Eve is there. Generally you're up quite a, bit later in the evening, trying to make sure Santa's there. And our stockings would get hid every single year. And, there was like no holds barred on like where the stocking would be at. And I think my parents did that because when we were kids, we'd wake up at like butt crack of dawn, and be like, oh, it's Christmas, Christmas, and, your parents are like, dude, it's like 5:30 in the morning.
Go back to bed.
You need to go back to bed.
Yeah.
And so the rule was like, don't bug mom and dad until you've found your stockings.
Okay.
And so they would hide
cool
the stockings so that we would, not
bother them. Gave them a couple hours of
hours of just, and so, so we, in your stockings would be like these little gifts and stuff like that were in there, and like candy and all
keep you occupied for a few hours.
And then we would be able to go get our mom and dad. The other thing that I do, of course, is that it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza.
Greatest Christmas movie ever made.
Yep. Ever made.
And if you say Die Hard is not a Christmas movie,
we're not friends.
You were wrong. Kind of like what we talked about last week. Are there like deal breakers with people?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just kick rocks.
Maya is under the impression that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Oh,
I'm working on her with it. She's such a huge Grinch fan. She loves the Grinch.
Okay, yeah.
She loves the Grinch. She's watched it like 10 times already.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey Grinch,
Yeah. That was great.
He did such a good job.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that one's good. That one's good. The other thing that we've generally done is like it's all a lot of my stuff, because I guess it's the fat boy inside me. Like it's all food related.
Yeah, I love dinner for we talked about what we're doing for dinner this year.
Yeah.
Like we put out a poll. I gave them 3 options for the protein.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, the winner, that's our protein, and then we got to build the sides around that.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah. Steaks won.
Steak won.
Steaks. Yeah.
Awesome. So when I was I started this with my kids post divorce and separation, stuff like that, because we just didn't do it with Erin, not because she didn't want to do it, she just didn't do it.
Just didn't do it.
But I was like, okay, well now I can start creating my own traditions, and brought one up that we used to do all the time, and it's we called it fondue, which I guess it kind of is, but we would have the fondue pot, but it would be full of oil, right?
Yeah.
And then we would have all of this meat that would be marinated and stuff like that, and then you would just stick your skewer on it and stick your meat in the fondue pot, and you had your own colored, skewers and stuff that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have the meat. It would have like this cheese sauce that you would put over, like cubes of bread and like steamed broccoli, and my mom also did steamed cauliflower and stuff like that you would have with it, and salad and stuff like that. And Christmas Eve, it's something that it's an activity to cook and sit around the table and enjoy each other's company with as well. Super fun. The other one is, of course, the only time of the year that I make almond roca is during that time
Christmas
period. Is Christmas time. And so, those are the things that, by way of traditions and stuff like that,
That's pretty fun.
That I go through on that. Yeah.
That's good. But let us know what your favorite Christmas time traditions are, or if you have any, or if you're just like, yeah, I do whatever I want, whenever I want. So, but moving on to our next question. All right, this question number 3, it's not really Christmas related, but can you tell a lot about a person by the type of pet they have?
Ooh, I would probably say yes.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah. It's funny how they, you see photos and stuff of people with certain type of dogs,
and there's they look exactly
like that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very true.
Yeah.
You've got some people with, certain types of dogs and stuff like that. Then you look at the owner and you're like, oh yeah,
that fits.
That fits.
Yeah. People with cats are usually kind of standoffish and pretentious, and we had this discussion the other day with some of the students, or I did. I go, are you a dog or a cat person? Some of them said, most of them said dog, and then one of them said cat, and I was like, that says a lot.
That explains a lot.
And I was like, they're like, what? I've just grown up with cats. And I was like, okay, cats are fine, whatever. I'm not saying cats are bad. But when you get home, okay, this is what I like to come home to. When you get home, dogs are so damn excited to see you.
Yes.
They're like, oh my gosh, you're home. Let me tell you about how many people I barked at. It's like, if they could talk, they'd be like going 100 miles an hour.
Oh, 100%.
And it's like, I like coming home to that. You come home to a cat and they look at you and like, oh God, you're back. And then they leave.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I feed you. What is wrong with you?
I feed you. I provide you a place to live.
Yeah,
and like, that's what you, like, I even clean up after you. And you're
exactly.
Like, and that's all you give me is just like, you're here.
Yep.
Demon's
back. It's like that. It's a commercial for some cat food. And it's this lady walking and she looks and it's her cat in a limo. And they're like, Fluffy? And then the people in limo are like, do you know this person? And the cat's looking at him and then it turns forward and rolls up the window. And I'm like, yep, that fits.
That fits.
Yeah.
That fits.
And I feel like people with like reptiles or snakes, they just like to be edgy. Usually they're musicians like rock.
Yeah.
Play guitar or drums or something like that.
Oh, you got this bearded dragon?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, buddy.
Reptiles are hard to take care of.
They are.
They're way hard to take care of.
Which is kind of crazy, like thinking about it, that it's like, okay, well, this animal lives out in the wild.
Yeah, and you don't have to feed them all the time, but yet they're so stinking hard to take care of.
Yeah.
They have to have this like temperature controlled area.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. And then like if they don't molt correctly, you have to like pull it off and everything.
Off,
yeah. It's just like, how did you do this out in the wild? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree though. I do think that, and also how they behave too, I think is a pretty good indicator on how the owner and the pets are.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but most of the time.
Yeah.
So, which is so weird because I guess it's kind of similar to ours because we've got Loki and Thor. I get up kind of early, and Loki, I don't even know if he sleeps. Like he must sleep, but like if I move adjust like anything at around a certain time, he's like, up off the bed, looking at me, like, "You're awake? Come on, hey, let's yeah, exactly." Like tail wagging, like he's on like cocaine. And then you got Thor. I get up and I look at him, and he's just like passed out on the bed. And then I look at Shanna, and Shanna's, and I was like, okay, makes sense.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I think for majority of most of the time, like either the pet turns into you or you turn into your pet.
Right.
Like I don't know which one is which though.
Right.
So
yeah, Zion, he's great. He's like he's a great combination, which is kind of like me, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, of he absolutely loves his humans.
Yeah.
You know, and always wants to be near you, always wants to be next to you. Like his favorite place to be, whether I'm on the couch or on the bed or wherever, is like right in between my legs.
Yeah.
You know, and he'll jump up on like, you know, on the couch. He'll like actually like stare at me if I'm sitting on the couch like a normal human, you know, which is, you know, straight up and down,
Yep.
legs off. And he's like, are you gonna bring your legs up? And
This is not.
where am I gonna sit?
Yeah.
Where do I
I thought
can't.
I've trained you better than this.
It's
Come
like
on.
the couch is huge.
Yeah.
Like just swing your legs up so that I can sit in between your legs and just kind of sit there and cuddle you.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he does that a lot. And then it's like if I get in bed, it has to jump up on the bed, and then you know I have to have my my feet apart so that he can like do his little donut spin thing and then find his spot in between my legs. And the instant he does that, it is worse than like any melatonin gummy or whatever that you can take.
Yeah.
Because he gets there and like, oh, but
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's bad. But that's what he likes, and you know,
Calms
and
you down.
Oh, dude, calms me down. Yeah, you know, I've seen this, you know, several times on Instagram or something like that. That you know, when the saying says, when you're with somebody that that you feel safe with, or that you love, or anything else like that, you're not getting tired and sleepy with that person because they bore you.
No.
You're getting tired and sleepy with that person because your nervous system doesn't have to be alert at all times, kind of wondering what's going on. Like I got to kind of protect myself. It's a very normal thing for humans. That it just kind of looks at it as like, no, like I can sit back. Like this is a safe spot.
Yeah.
I can sit back. I can relax, and I can go to sleep. And with Zion, he'll get in there and he'll just snuggle up next to me, and it is the hardest thing once he gets in there, because they're warmer. Like dogs have a higher body temperature than humans.
Yeah.
So it's like this heating blanket that like then gets you know, near you, especially during the wintertime. Oh my gosh, you know, you get them on there and you're just like, oh, it's all warm and just snuggly, and I'm gone.
Then you're out.
I mean, it's trying to watch a movie with him is really difficult. You know, not because he moves a lot, but because I go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Thor's a big snuggler.
Yeah.
Loki is too, but he like licks and paws and yeah. It's like, but Thor will just just lay on you.
Just lay on you and you're just like, tell me about you.
Yeah. But let us know if our statement is true and if your pets act like you, or do you act like your pets? But moving on to our fourth and final question. All right, what's our fourth question?
Okay, so live or artificial trees?
Artificial.
Yeah?
Yeah, just because I'll kill it.
Oh, it's already dead. I mean,
well, let me rephrase. I'll dry it out to where it's a fire hazard.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So, yeah, like right now we have no tree.
No tree.
We haven't had a tree, and I would dare say 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Partly because one, space, and two, like the dogs would run into it.
Good point.
And it's like putting it up and down, and we would never put up a tree until after Jamin's birthday, and his birthday's on the 8th. So it's then we would only have it up for like
2
weeks or something like that. And then it's like, it's a huge hassle to put up something this big and elaborate. And then it's like, it's down within 2 weeks. Right. So we unfortunately I think Shannon wants to get another tree. but just like some little
Yeah, yeah,
itty bitty tree.
yeah.
Maya's all about, she put up her Christmas tree November 1st. And I'm like, it's like, did I teach you nothing? It's like, and I was even harassing her last night about it. I go, you got to have Thanksgiving first. And she's like, screw the pilgrims, even though she loves Thanksgiving. But she loves Christmas more.
Yeah.
And she's getting bummed because Christmas is almost over.
Yeah.
So we're definitely a artificial tree when we have one. Just because one, I think honestly, real trees, the smell. Dude. You can't beat the smell of a real tree. But I would dry that sucker out so bad it would be dangerous to keep that in the house. So I'm like, let's just not do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love real trees, you know, the smell of them and everything else. The hassle factor of it, is a little much because you do have to keep them constantly, you know, wet and everything else. Like, you know, you've got to have a special, you know, container for it and stuff. Artificial are easier.
Yes.
You know, but you just don't.
They're not as meaningful.
No, you don't get that smell.
No.
You don't get that smell.
Unless they have some sort of like air freshener that plugs into the artificial tree.
Right.
Which if they ever made that, the person who does that's going to be a
Oh yeah.
So, because everybody's going to want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I mean, and then you've got like, I mean, yes, you can get the Yankee Candle that smells like, you know, like the balsam firs and stuff like that. And it's, but no, like like a real, you can't ever get like that real smell of a real pine tree and stuff like that. And like that really kind of kicks off, you know, that whole holiday smell and everything else. You know,
you ever seen the movie Daddy's Home 2?
Not the second one.
You need to watch the second one.
Yeah.
It's perfect time to watch because it's during Christmas time.
Yeah.
There's a scene where they decide to go up in the mountains and cut down their own Christmas tree. And they're just in like a ski resort. And so it's not even like a place where you're supposed to cut down Christmas trees. And Will Ferrell's the one that's like, no, I'm going to do it to show how manly I am and this and that. So he gets the chainsaw and he goes to cut it down, but it's attached to a cell tower.
Oh, no.
And then he hits the cell tower, shoots him across the lip. And then, like, obviously, you know, Mark Wahlberg, like, brings him back to life. And he's like, oh, did I die again? Did you save me? So their Christmas tree cost $15,000 because they had to pay
to fix
the cell tower. So, but it's a great movie. You need to watch Daddy's Home too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I there's something about real trees that you just can't duplicate.
No.
But with the time frame that we're dealing with trees, it's like it's not worth, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, it's not worth the hassle of putting up a tree.
Right.
Because it's like, then you got to pull everything out, put it up, and then you got to put it back. And it's just like, no. It's like, I don't need a tree to be like, it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
So, or if anything, it'd be like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Right.
Where it's just like, just little. But let us know if you're a real tree or an artificial tree fan, or if you're a non-tree fan. But moving on to our fight scene. All right, I tried to find something music related, but I didn't really think it'd be interesting if we had like Mozart fight Bach or something like that. But so I went more Christmas. So we have Buddy the Elf versus the Grinch. Buddy the Elf versus the Grinch. Round one, New York City, and we'll go Central Park.
Yeah. Okay.
Central Park.
Buddy the Elf.
He's got snowballs.
He's got snowballs and freaking rocket for an arm. So
in this instance, I would go with Buddy the Elf.
Oh yeah,
because of the snowball capability. But yeah, so I've got round one, Buddy the Elf.
I'm with you on that one.
With snowballs.
Yep.
With snowballs.
With
okay,
snowballs.
So round two, Whoville, Buddy the Elf versus the Grinch. I've got the Grinch all the way.
I do too. I would have to go with the Grinch because again, like it's home court advantage.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got, all of the, the Dr. Seuss world of Whoville, where things are kind of a little bit
crazy strong. Too.
He is ridiculously strong.
And he eats molten bolts to cool him down to make his sleigh.
He can chew glass. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Can't beat that. But I've got the Grinch taking it to him in Whoville.
I do too. Yeah.
So okay, round 3.
1-1
in a cage, hand to hand.
Oh man, in a cage. Oh shoot. I'm still gonna have to go on the strength side with the Grinch on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the Grinch.
I mean,
I don't think I've seen Buddy the Elf throw a punch.
No.
And in the movie, he actually gets taken out by the little person. So
call me an elf one more time.
He's an angry elf.
That's it.
He must be a South Pole elf. Yeah. So that alone makes me think the Grinch is just going to take it to him.
Yeah.
So I've got the Grinch winning in the ring
as
well. Yeah, with his strength and just his durability.
Yep. I give you that.
Yeah.
I give you that.
Not unless, all of a sudden he gets sticky hands and he just grabs him and starts ripping out his fur.
Right.
Which I don't really see that happening.
No.
But
I mean,
all right.
he might bust out the maple syrup and start, just.
Yeah. The 4 basic food groups.
Yes.
Was it candy, candy cane, candy corn, and syrup?
And syrup.
Yes. Syrup and coffee? I never thought of that.
Thought of that before.
Yeah. But I got the Grinch winning 2-1. Sounds like you do too.
I do too.
All right.
I do too.
But moving on to our joke of the week. All right. So what do you got for your joke?
What do you call a snowman with 6-pack abs?
I know this one.
Yeah.
An abdominal snowman.
Abdominal snowman.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What else you got?
What did one snowman say to the other?
What?
Do you smell carrots?
Okay. Oh God, that one is. That's just like what has 5 fingers and not your hand. My hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, what's the difference between snowmen and snow women?
Ooh, I don't know.
Snowballs.
Oh, dang it.
Yep.
Oh.
That's a good one. That one you can sort of tell to anybody. I don't know.
I will give this last one. It's not quite. I mean, it kind of is, but kind of not at the same time.
Okay.
And I will do it in the same voice of the guy who I heard it from. What do ornaments, drywall, and Jeffrey Epstein have in common?
Neither one of them hang themselves.
List 3 things that don't hang themselves.
Yeah. Good old red. Would you classify him as a redneck or a hillbilly?
Oh, no, he's definite redneck.
Okay.
Definite redneck. Yeah. Louisiana redneck. So
there
that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's what keeps everybody from invading the U.S.
That's right.
It's our rednecks. So thank you.
Bunch of hillbillies
so
waiting for the same opportunity from 1975.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing there but empty beer cans and shotgun shells.
Exactly.
War's over, baby.
Yeah. What took y'all so long? All right, moving on to our shout-outs. All right, anybody you'd like to shout out from the concert and anything?
Yeah, like I want to shout out like the whole entire Millennial Choirs and Orchestra organization. After we were done with our last concert, they kind of just put out an email saying, hey, we need some help tearing everything down and everything else. And there were about 20 or 30 of us that stayed afterwards just to tear everything down. And
you guys are all volunteers too.
Yeah, so, we're all volunteers, and we were there at Abravanel till like probably 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Taking everything apart, the whole entire set pieces and stuff like that we had. there were a couple of costumes and stuff like that were just like we call them angel robes, for the kids and stuff to have. They all hold these little candlelight things, and of course these are all used with all the locations and stuff like that. So we have to go and fold up every single one of those robes, make sure that we organize them into like small, medium, large, extra large, for the people. And we have to take apart all of the, candlelights, take the batteries out so the batteries don't go all bad in them. Get those all organized right so they don't, leak and discharge and stuff like that. Taking apart the entire stage. They actually have their, Bravenel has their own stage crew people that are there, taking all that stuff and putting it away. Plus just on the back end, I a lot of times I don't think, like we all like sausage, right? But it's quite a bit to like, if you're to actually see like, how's a sausage made? There's a whole process behind that and everything else. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I'm glad people can come in and enjoy it and enjoy the show, but there's like a ton of, hard work that goes in to these events to, again, keep, the ticket prices that we have to charge, down to a minimum. I was talking with, some friends of mine, and I do have some issues with the way Bravenel does their ticket sales and stuff like that. Their website's a mess. Their servers suck. They had a hard time dealing with just
keeping up with the volume.
You're just keeping up with volume, and it's like I'm sorry to say, but it's 2025.
Yeah,
and if your servers can't deal with like, let's even say that every single seat had one person buying one ticket, and you're going to tell me that your servers can't deal with 10,000 people coming into it at one given point in time. You need to get bigger servers. Or you've got to figure that stuff out. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you have to do. And you're not going to tell me that, it only happens with your concert. No, I'm sorry. There's other people that come in there. But again, to organize all of the rehearsal halls that we have to go to, all of the the ins and outs of the orchestra and getting people all there, like it's a whole the whole crew that does the production side of it, I think is a nameless, I don't want to say thankless job, but it's definitely a nameless job, where it's just like, oh, it just happened. Someone waved their magical Harry Potter wand and all of a sudden this is here. But yeah, so, shout out to them. Shout out to the people that, put that all together, and then all of the, people who are a part of the organization, because that doesn't happen unless you've got people there to sing, and then it doesn't happen unless you've got people there to actually participate, or not participate, to come and see it. So all of the people that came, thank you very much for coming. All of the people that are a part of it, thank you for being there. And all the people that worked hard in the hours that we don't know that they were there, thanks for being there. So that, I could have that opportunity to go ahead and participate in something like that. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
All right, moving on to our final thoughts. Any final thoughts you want to leave the people with?
Yeah, final thoughts. Really try to keep in perspective things that should be important. Don't push things off to the side that, you're just like, oh, that's not really that important. It's like, okay, well, are you sure it's not really that important? Or do we just need to change focus? Again, like with what Brandon was saying in the very beginning of just like, I'm not doing all these things that are traditionally like a Christmas type thing, but yet I'm doing this other thing that brings joy to literally tens of thousands of people. Just in just between Arizona and here, it's 25,000 people that we did concerts for. It's just 2 locations out of 7. Plus all of the people that were able to participate in that and stuff like that. So spend time with your, again, like we talked about before, time with the family is huge.
Absolutely. But take advantage of the time that you're given, and make sure you set out your priorities straight. But thanks for spending the time with us this week, and we will see you guys next week, everybody. Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week.